talking about losing their rights when there's women overseas who are covered head to toe, not by choice, who have no vote, who have no phone, who have no friends, who can't leave the house, who can't go to school, who can't go to work. And everyone here is talking about losing their rights.
Ban on public speaking enforced in August also means that women speaking inside their homes must not be able to be heard from outside. It is forbidden for women to look at men they are not related to by blood or marriage, and vice versa. It is forbidden for women to look, not speak, not touch, not hug, to look at men they are not related to by blood or marriage, and vice versa.
Shut the up about losing your rights simply because it's the most insensitive and ridiculous thing that somebody could be posting. You're sitting crying in your car on your way to work about losing your rights when women like that are living overseas and actually suffering because it's an actual reality for them. And you're talking about you care about women.
All right, y'all. Here's what I can't figure out for the life of me. Trump was elected. All of these women on the left are screaming that their rights will be forever diminished as a result. I can't figure out for the life of me what they're talking about. I simply don't get it. Let's compare. Afghanistan. Women cannot speak. They cannot speak in public in Afghanistan. They cannot speak at a volume level inside of their own home that would cause another man to hear them having a conversation in private in their own house. They cannot look at another man in public if they are not related to that person. These are rights that have been stripped, that have been taken away. Basic human rights. We're not even talking about free speech. We're just talking about speech in general, of any kind. These women do not have that. I want to have this conversation because I think it's an important conversation for us to recognize how privileged we are as Americans, regardless of who the president is. We have an extraordinary amount of privilege, and we are spoiled and blessed beyond belief. But for some reason, there are so many people who refuse to recognize that. Let's have a conversation. Let's start here.
How insensitive it is that every single video on my For You page is posted by somebody on their smartphone sitting in America in the comfort of their home with an education and a job and whatever else, talking about losing their rights when there's women overseas who are covered head to toe, not by choice, who have no vote, who have no phone, who have no friends, who can't leave the house, who can't go to school, who can't go to work. And everyone here is talking about losing their rights. And it's not even a political thing. It's so insensitive and ridiculous. And the fact that they're getting that because of TikTok that told them they're going to lose their rights. If you did 5 seconds of research, you don't even have to with Trump. If you did 5 seconds of research, you would know that's not true. If the 4 years that he was president didn't prove that already to you, that you trust some TikTok bullshit, that, oh, my rights. First of all, abortion is state by state. That happened when Trump wasn't even here. Okay? Nothing to do with president. Even if Kamala walked into the office today as president, nothing would change. Because it's nothing to do with them, regardless of the brainwash that you've been hearing. If you did 3 seconds of genuine research and not on TikTok, you would know that. But that's not even the point. Don't even get me started on the actual political side of this. Shut the up about losing your rights simply because it's the most insensitive and ridiculous thing that somebody could be posting. You're sitting crying in your car on your way to work about losing your rights when women like that are living overseas and actually suffering because it's an actual reality for them. And you're talking about you care about women. fucking stupid. Like, actually, shut the fuck up.
Wow. Also, she talked about, women driving in their car going to work. Women in Afghanistan are not even allowed to play music in the car. In fact, they're not even allowed to transport themselves by themselves. They must be accompanied by a man, regardless of where they are going. So put it like this. If there's an emergency situation and a woman has to get her child to a hospital to seek emergency care, in Afghanistan, she cannot do so unless she is accompanied by a man. Let's talk about rights. Let's talk about rights.
Videos like, at least I won't have to tell my daughter I chose gas prices.
Hold on. This is interesting.
Women that are posting videos like, at least I won't have to tell my daughter I chose gas prices over her rights. It's getting really embarrassing for the rest of us because you are not making any sense. Because in this case, you're talking about abortion laws, which was overturned by the Supreme Court. Roe v. Wade was a Supreme Court decision to overturn that. And all it means is that your state is now responsible for your abortion laws. So literally did not matter who was getting into office. Your state's abortion laws are your state's abortion laws, and you can change that on a state level if it ever comes up on your ballot. But literally, what the fuck? Why are people this uneducated?
So people are saying, I'm so glad I didn't choose lower gas prices over my daughter's rights. Interesting conversation. You're not even being asked. Here's the thing. Abortion is at the state level. And a lot of people don't really understand that. And I'm going to show you a video of Trump talking about just that abortion is at the state level, right? And that he supports the exceptions. But from a rights standpoint, quote unquote, you're simply being asked to keep your child. You're not even being asked to raise your child. They're just saying, hey, keep your child. They're not even saying raise your baby. We can find solutions. We can find a loving family to raise your child, but hey, don't eliminate your child before we have the opportunity to give that child, that human being, the chance to have a beautiful, loving life. And women are freaking out about that. They're freaking out about that. When Trump even said himself that it's up to the states. So if you are genuinely concerned that you will no longer have the right to eliminate your child, then you can find a state that aligns with your beliefs. On top of that, I don't know if y'all understand this. They'll pretty much ship you these pills anywhere you are. Like there's places that will, regardless of where you live, and I don't know the legality of this, but regardless of where you live, they'll ship the pills to you so that you can go ahead and do whatever you're trying to do on your own. Let me play this video from Trump.
There is currently a Florida law that bans abortion after 6 weeks, and there is a ballot measure that would reverse that. Where do you stand on the issue?
Well, I think it's got to be longer than 6 weeks, personally. I've done a great job in this for the people. They wanted to get it back in the states. They wanted a vote of the people. All Democrats wanted it. All Republicans wanted it. Everybody. And I'm a believer in the exceptions. That's life of the mother, rape and incest. And I believe strongly that, as Ronald Reagan and others have. And
it's at the state level, and he believes in the exceptions. I'm just trying to tell y'all, man, Stop falling for these lies. Please stop falling for these lies. Taliban bans women hearing other women's voices. Y'all thought I was kidding. They've banned women from hearing other women's voices. Even when an adult female prays and another female passes by, she must not pray loudly enough for them to hear. It is prohibited for a grown woman to recite Quranic verses or perform recitations. I probably didn't say that right. How do you say that? Recitations? I'm so sorry. This is not a laughing matter. And in front of another grown woman. The ban on public speaking enforced in August also means that women speaking inside their homes must not be able to be heard from outside. So a woman speaking inside her own house cannot even be heard from the outside. Women are obligated to cover themselves in front of non-Muslim males and females to avoid being corrupted. A woman's voice is deemed intimate and so should not be heard singing, reciting, or reading aloud in public. Let me say that one more time. A woman's voice is deemed intimate and should not be heard singing, reciting, or reading aloud in public. It is forbidden for women to look at men they are not related to by blood or marriage, and vice versa. It is forbidden for women to look, not speak, not touch, not hug, to look at men they are not related to by blood or marriage, and vice versa. Article 19 bans the playing of music, the transportation of solo female travelers, and the mixing of men and women who are not related to each other. The law also obliges passengers and drivers to perform prayers at designated times. According to the ministry website, the promotion of virtue includes prayer, aligning the character and behavior of Muslims with Islamic law, encouraging women to wear hijab, and inviting people to comply with the 5 pillars of Islam. It also says the elimination of vice involves prohibiting people from doing things forbidden by Islamic law. You can't look at a person, at a man who you are not related to or married to. You can't speak to anybody for any reason in public. For any reason. You cannot speak to anybody for any reason in public. You cannot look at a man who you are not married to or blood related to. They can't go to school. They can't have a job. They can't have access to education, to read, to inform themselves about just the most basic of information. These are rights that are being taken and stolen from women. If you're going to be advocating and marching in the streets for a cause, look no further than what's happening. Look no further than what the Taliban is doing. The fact that you live in a country under Donald Trump that, by the way, is not as pro-life as I am. And like I'm pro-life to the point where I can see, even in the most darkest of situations, rape, incest, I can still see a way where God can get the glory from that situation. And I would say, don't abort that child. Don't abort that child. Let God get the glory from that situation. God can take a dark situation like that and he can change it around and switch it and turn it into a situation that is filled with so much light that you wouldn't even believe it. Just because a terrible thing happened doesn't mean you have to punish the child with the death penalty. Trump is not even that pro-life. He believes in the exceptions. But yet we have so many women in America who believe that their rights are being stripped from them. It's insane. Let me know what you think. Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out.